seen before.
The brutal onstage murder of 38-year-old guitarist Dimebag Darrell Abbott in December of 2004 sent shockwaves reverberating among everyone who knew him or were touched by his music.
Nothing like this has ever happened. Lennon, maybe. But Lennon wasn't shot and killed on stage. I mean, Dime was murdered on stage. It's just shocking.
I lost everything that night, you know. I just feel like somebody took a hacksaw and cut me right down the middle, took my right arm, my right leg, and my whole heart.
I would love it if 2 minutes from now he walked through that door. I still feel like he's going to. He did not deserve this.
Yet Dimebag's memorial service was anything but somber. It was the ultimate rock and roll send-off, right down to the Kiss casket in which the fallen guitarist was buried.
There's all these rock stars coming in. It just looks like Headbangers Ball. There's Eddie Van Halen up there talking at the funeral service. He puts his guitar in the casket with Darrell. It's the guitar off of Van Halen 2. You know, the black one with the yellow stripe. I mean, it's the guitar. And all I can think is that, you know, back in the early days when we're teenagers, if someone would have said, Darrell, when you die, Van Halen's going to put that guitar in the casket with you, Darrell would have said, kill me now.
Dime was in his Kiss coffin, and everyone's putting, like, bottles of Crown in there for him. There must have been about, like, 15 bottles of Crown Royal, and I go, you think this is going to be enough for the trip upstairs?
It was amazing, but, you know, it's like I told Rita and my dad, you know, after all this is over, we're going to be three of the most lonely people in the world.
A prodigious roster of hard rock royalty gathered in Arlington, Texas to remember Dimebag Darrell Abbott. But one prominent musician was conspicuously absent.
And I'd flown to Texas to be there and bury my brother. And I sat in a hotel room for 5 days, waiting, sending message after message to Vinnie Paul and anybody else who would even care to hear.
They stuck the phone in my face and said, Phil's on the phone, and if you don't take the phone, he's going to show up. I got on the phone, and I instantly just said, why are you calling now? And, of course, I started to cry. Why didn't you return the 9 phone calls when Darrell called you? I go, if you show up here, I'll blow your head off myself. And I hung up on him.
And I wasn't allowed to go to the funeral.
In the aftermath of his brother's death, Vinnie Paul Abbott has overseen Darrell's recorded legacy and started his own label, Big Vin Records.
I love playing music, and I want to do it again, but right now I want to see what it's like being on the other side of the coin. If I come across the right situation or the right people, then I'll be back.
Philip Anselmo, who says he kicked heroin in 2002 and underwent back surgery in 2005, continues to focus on myriad musical projects.
You ready?
I adore what I do. I live for what I do, and I'm still damn doing it. Yes, I've had to have probably the most major back surgery in the history of back surgery, man. You know, don't underestimate the kid. You're crazy if you do, and I am the kid.
But to this day, the bad blood between Philip and the Abbott clan continues to boil over.
I want him to live a real long, hard life in the shadow of Dime now, because he'll always be in his shadow, and that was the thing he seemed to fear the most of. Well, karma gets you, I guess.
Months after Dime's murder, Anselmo said he received a heated message from Vinnie Paul.
And the conversation went something to the effect that my day's coming. And my rebuttal is, Vince, all of our day is coming, bro. And if my day happens to end earlier than your day, does that change anything? Will that change anything, or will you lose another brother? I'll be honest with you right now. I need Vinnie Paul real bad. I need him in my life. And whether he knows it or not, he needs me as well.
But the one thing everyone can agree on is the everlasting impact of Darrell Abbott's music and spirit.
He's just up at God's Tavern, you know, making cocktails for everybody, hanging out with Randy Rhoads and John Bonham and Jimi Hendrix and Janis Joplin, everybody.
Darrell Lance Abbott. In this house, will be revered and will be loved and celebrated forever. You know? Period.
Everybody wanted Dom Tom. Now I got to have the most. So I feel fortunate.
He would take me in his arms, Dad.
So I feel fortunate.
He would take me in his arms, Dad, I love you. Yes, I love that. Sorry. That's what I remember the best. Underneath all that hard rock and roll exterior was a little boy.
VH1, you ought to know. Introducing you to artists on the rise. Former schoolmates who grew up to create a sound all their own.
Joe and I both had battling bands back in high school.
The Fray mixed piano, guitar, drums, and striking vocals to achieve their powerful melodies.
The most exciting part about it is the fans' connection to the music.
VH1 presents The Fray.
This is The Fray. This is The Fray.
For more on The Fray and other You Ought to Know artists,
the man driving the moped was taken to Queens Medical Center, listed in critical condition. Police are seeking help with a hit-and-run case last night in Kalihi. It happened just after 10:30 near 888 North King Street. A vehicle hit a pedestrian, then left the scene. The victim was taken to Queens Medical Center in critical